Welcome. Another edition of the Destination Fantasy Podcast. I'm here with yours truly, my brother, for another from another mother, who's actually celebrating. Is it the Pippen year? Nicholas Batum, Los Angeles Clippers. Yeah, I don't know, man, but either way, my buddy Deshaun is right here with us. How you doing?
Man, I feel pretty good. Birthday was great. I gotta send a big shout out to my wife and kids for making that very special for me. But 33 is hopefully, a great year. So good things to come, bro.
Absolutely. So me and you, we've been talking the past couple of days here. Uh, because we like to do things way early, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And before we get into that, we never had the chance to talk about the Aaron Rodgers situation. You know how that makes me feel right now. I'm like, yeah, get out of here, man. But I guess if you've been, living under a rock the last month or so, Aaron Rodgers, he feels disrespected by the Green Bay Packers organization, and basically says in a nutshell, he doesn't plan on coming back at all. Period. He told teammates, yeah, I'm not coming back. He told incoming free agents, yeah, don't plan on me being there. And so, you got Coach Matt LaFleur. I want Aaron Rodgers back in the worst
In
way.
the worst way. That was kind of weird, bro. It was kind of weird, but I definitely understand where LaFleur was coming from.
Yeah, man. I get it, but yeah, that was a little sus, a little suspect. But anyway, so now there's a lot of uncertainty with Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Packers, and Aaron Rodgers last year MVP year. He responded to the fact that they drafted Jordan Love the year before, and basically just ruining their plans on rebuilding and things of that nature. It's like you can't rebuild with the MVP of last year playing the way that he played, and them being what minute under 2 minutes left from a fourth and what eight from being away from the Super Bowl type thing. And so hypothetically speaking, if Aaron Rodgers is traded or retires or basically doesn't come back to the Green Bay Packers, how does that affect the rest of the players as far as fantasy wise? Like how does that affect them? Like just really quick, and then we'll get into something here. What's your initial thoughts on this?
Like my thoughts is, I mean, if like that's like their like engine, bro. Like that's the way how they get like the party going with Aaron Rodgers through Aaron Rodgers is a offense that Matt LaFleur designed against this one quarterback to heighten his strengths, to eliminate majority of his weaknesses, and so far he has done a very good thing. But you gotta think about it. Whenever Aaron Rodgers is in the center, they always have a chance to win, no matter how many points that they are down. He has been one of those generational quarterbacks during my and your lifetime. Super Bowl win, he's always in the mix toward a Super Bowl. I know, Bears fans, typically don't like that, but I'm quite sure that you guys are all smiles and grins right now, knowing that it's a chance that Aaron Rodgers could be in someone else's division, which that could be you guys for the taking. But again, like it's still like a little bit of ways out. But and just like talking about how that will affect like players from like a fantasy aspect. So you got to talk about like Devontae Adams, who has been like stellar. He has been the top 3 wide receiver in fantasy football for like the past couple of years. The dude does nothing but score 10 touchdowns every season. Like he has a knack for getting inside the end zone. The rapport that he have with Aaron Rodgers is like none other. So I mean that would immediately affect him, Jamar, and I can see him sliding down up on like a couple of draft boards here just because the murkiness of the Aaron Rodgers situation. Now, make no mistake about it. No matter who's under center, Devontae Adams is still going to be a great wide receiver. But at the same time, is he going to be as stellar as he has been? And
Right.
I can see that like kind of dropping a little bit, even for Mike and Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, which is supposed to be a pretty good Robert Tonyan, guys like that. I can see them sliding a bit. You know what I mean? Depending upon like the Aaron Rodgers situation. But when you take a good quarterback out of the mix like that, Jamar, everybody's gonna have to like suffer a bit from it.
No, I mean you're right. It's it's an adjustment period. It's like we don't know what to expect per se. If correct me if I'm wrong. I remember was it a couple of years ago was like I want to say Aaron Rodgers was not playing, and I forgot who the backup was at the time. It's somebody that's probably out the league right now. But anyway, like no. Sorry, it wasn't Aaron Rodgers. It was like matter of fact, just use an example. It was when Big Ben was out, and I think Antonio Brown was still on your team, and he was barely still hitting the numbers that he was hitting at the time, fantasy wise, because of Big Ben not being there, and that can affect even the star wide receivers. Like we may see it this year with Michael Thomas without Drew Brees for a full 16. I mean, we there's a strong possibility we don't see it with Devontae Adams if Aaron Rodgers is not there. Yeah, I feel like the only wide receiver that has not been affected in the last decade with poor quarterback play is probably DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins for sure.
So, all right. So talking about this leads us to our next topic here. So, we got two way too early rankings. We like I said, we like to do things early. Heck, we was mock drafting the other week. We enjoyed that.
Seriously.
So give me a second here. I put something together for us.
And again, this is the way too early rankings. They are subject to change due to, it not being nowhere near the start of the football season. And some of these guys are scrambled a little bit, but all in all, I think, we came up with a pretty good list, bro.
We sure did. So, all right. So I put this together. This is our running back rankings. You want to take us through it real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take you through it. So Christian McCaffrey, and we're strictly talking about a PPR format here, ladies and gentlemen. Whether it be PPR or standard, this guy is probably going to be the first guy off the board. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The things he can do in the receiving game, man, 1,000 yards the year that he was healthy and receiving, over 1,000 yards rushing, a ton of catches. He will probably be your number one overall pick in majority of the fantasy leagues, Jamar. So Dalvin Cook, my personal favorite, my favorite running back in the NFL. If I had the number one pick, this is who I would probably take. Christian McCaffrey is coming off of an injury, and one of those two guys are night and day. If you pick one at one and the other at two, you can't really get mad at the other person. Alvin Kamara had a sensational season last year and actually propelled a bunch of your teams, bro, because you had him in a couple of games in which he had that was it 6 touchdown game or something like that?
Sure did.
So, yeah. I remember you texting me skinning from ear to ear about that, man. So you definitely I didn't have a chance to pick him, but Alvin Kamara is always a good pick. Even with Drew Brees being out, I still think that he's gonna get his. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, a player that you and I both like, Jonathan Taylor. I knew he was going to crack my top 5. This guy is going to have a sensational season. They gave him the keys to the car, Jamar. Finally, we were waiting last season, and we saw what this guy can do. Him and Nyheim Hines complement each other beautifully in that backfield. That's going to be a backfield to definitely look out for this upcoming fantasy football season. Derrick Henry. Man, I feel like I'm actually I got this guy too low. The only running back, pay attention, Jamar. So it's Christian McCaffrey, receiving back. Dalvin Cook, receiving back. Jonathan Taylor, receiving back. He can catch the ball too. Barkley, receiving back. Derrick Henry is the only back that doesn't catch too many passes. And still, couple of years in, he's just been the top guy. So, I may even have him a little bit too low up on this list, bro. But Saquon Barkley would come in next. Coming back from the injury, I typically like to see what a player does. That's the only reason I have him down a little bit so far. But the things that he can do in the receiving game, he punishes people. He's just the prototypical running back. How you want your running back to look. He is if you look up running back in the dictionary, Jamar, it'll probably have a picture of Saquon Barkley's physique. So Nick Chubb would be next. You and I love this guy. Kareem Hunt probably won't be too far behind. And that's crazy to think because they shared that same backfield. So Nick Chubb will be a great pick. Only thing to do is score touchdowns and bowl people on his way into the end zone. Ezekiel Elliott would be next. And again, I mean, I won't be picking him just because how he did my season last year, but still a fantastic pick. With Dak Prescott coming back, I think he can definitely propel a fantasy football team to fantasy glory. Aaron Jones. So I have an asterisk by Aaron Jones because that is a little bit more dependent upon like the Aaron Rodgers situation, Jamar, in which what we just talked about. But, make no mistake about it. When he has been healthy and Aaron Rodgers has been doing his thing, complimenting Aaron Rodgers' game, he's been fantastic. I owned him in a couple of leagues last year, and he has been very, very solid for the past 2 years. Yeah. Cam Akers, one of those guys that we just had to squeeze somewhere near our top 10. I think he's going to take off. I really think he is going to take off. You and I kind of saw that, and fading into like the latter part of like last season, he was terrific, and I think he looks to build up on that season.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, if you just take a quick glance, you notice that you have the regulars at the top, but then you see two running backs that was, basically, was it Cam? Cam is entering his third year, right?
I don't know. Let me check that real quick.
I think so. But yeah, while you check that, while you're checking that, seeing Jonathan Taylor up here in the top 5, that's how special that he's been. Cam Akers, I think the addition of Matthew Stafford is going to help that out a lot.
For sure.
Because I think Matthew Stafford is the quarterback that, I guess, the quote, Dark Knight, is the quarterback that the Rams needed but didn't deserve at the time, but now he's there.
Yeah, yeah, and to just check that for you, Jamar. He's entering his second season, Cam Akers. So he has tons of room to grow.
So the fact that we're getting these young backs, on this top 10 list, and I feel like, you're going to see more and more of those. So, like the Antonio Gibsons, he'll probably maybe crack this list by the end of next year. Yep. J.K. Dobbins, he has a chance to be very, very relevant since Mark Ingram's gone, and the only person he has to worry about is Gus Edwards right now. So, like I said, I mean, just look at the titles way too early, but just to give you an idea, we'll be in June before you know it, and then mock drafts really gonna start getting going in July, and before you know it,
game time.
Yep, week 1. So, all right. Anything you want to add before we go to the wide receivers?
No, I think you touched right on it, bro. Is good. I think it's safe to say that the running backs, as far as like for like the next 5 to maybe even 10 years, is pretty much like in good hands, bro. A couple of young names cracking the list, so I'm glad you definitely touched up on that.
Absolutely, I am excited. So next, all right. Wide receivers. So go ahead and do us the pleasure, man.
So yeah, coming in number 1 is Tyreek Hill, and I mean the top 3 you can pretty much like flip flop those guys, possibly the top 4, Jamar. Like all of those guys are just stellar guys, but as long as Patrick Mahomes is under center and Tyreek Hill is healthy, they are a walking threat to score from anywhere on the field, and he is one of the few wide receivers on this list that can take it in from 99 yards and just blow past like the whole defense. He is the definition of taking the top off of defense. Tyreek Hill is sensational. Pick him 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter. Stephon Diggs coming off the year that he had, him and Josh Allen, like that's one of the only tandems that can compare to a Tyreek Hill and a Patrick Mahomes. That combination is sensational, especially in PPR format. He could easily go number 1 because he catches the ball a ton. I think he had somewhere near 14 targets or something like that a game at one point, 7 to 9 catches. Like he was flat out great last year. DeAndre Hopkins, enough said. I mean, Nook is that guy. has been that guy. And like you mentioned earlier, Jamar, no matter who's under center, I mean, he's spectacular. But look at that combination. Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs, Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. Amazing. Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams with like the next guy. These are some very, very good 1-2 punches here. AJ Brown, I love this guy, and I've been saying that I love this guy. He is just a walking like problem, matchup nightmare for defenses. DK Metcalf is that up and coming. I had to show him love on this list, as well as a Justin Jefferson and a Calvin Ridley. Those three young guns will get it done this season, Jamar. Justin Jefferson was ultra fantastic last year. He was extremely solid, very, very, very productive. Michael Thomas, see, a guy that you typically like to see around like 1 through like 3, possibly, but like you hit on earlier, Jamar, with the Drew Brees retiring, we got to see what that offense is going to do. But I still think that he's going to get his. And reliable. He's just like that car that you just keep in the. You may have a Maserati outside, right? But it doesn't appear it doesn't compare to this Honda Accord that it's still nice, it's still clean, and it just purrs like a kitten when you still rev it up. That is what this guy is right here. Allen Robinson, one of my favorite wide receivers. I can never do him the disrespect of keeping him outside the top 10.
Man, I appreciate that. I do, especially the Allen Robinson. I appreciate it. I mean, it's a heck of a list. And like you said, top 4 is interchangeable. I know previous years we're used to like seeing Julio Jones in there.
Antonio Browns, guys of that nature,
And you know what? We'll discuss Julio here in a second. But, I mean, Stephon Diggs, last year you cannot ignore what he did. Like I've been saying, he unlocked that offense. He unlocked Josh Allen. He unlocked the Buffalo Bills to start him. That's exactly what he did. D-Hop, it just seems like everywhere he goes, it doesn't matter. Whoever he plays with, it doesn't matter. He get his. Yeah, Devontae Adams, he was a freaking monster last year.
My goodness.
What was it? Was it 17 touchdowns? 19 touchdowns?
Somewhere around there. It was close to 20, bro.
Yeah, it was insane. And I'm pretty sure in week 16 he won people's weeks too. I'm pretty positive that man had 3 touchdowns in week 16. I'm pretty positive, just off the top of my head. This list, I appreciate this list, just like the running backs list. Like we got some young studs in here. Like, what's this number? 5, 6, and 7. AJ Brown, stud, monster. Next to his counterpart, DK Metcalf. These two are both freaking like prototype freak of nature wide receivers, man. Like they body fat percentages is insane.
You saw what I did there. I did that on purpose by putting those two guys next to each other. So,
dude, like how can you not I guess appreciate those two? And just like I was telling you yesterday or the day before, it's like I'm mad that it's like their value is so high now I can't sneak them.
Exactly. Nah, man, like those are going to be a couple of the top names that's going to be taken. It's AJ Brown was one of the guys that you can definitely pick in later rounds, and like you said, like DK Metcalf as well. But nah, those guys are front and center now. So we got to try to come up with like another strategy, bro.
For real, I'm upset, but it's like watching them just grow up and blossom type thing. Man, that it's been awesome. Justin Jefferson, like I know we have like a small list of favorite guys that we like and support. I nominate that we put this man on this list, man.
Okay,
I'm a big Justin Jefferson fan. Matter of fact, I want to post a graphic or a picture of him with his celebration dance because it's like just the swag, man. The swag,
gritty,
dude. Like that trade for that Buffalo Bills Minnesota trade that worked out for both parties. You rarely see a trade work out for both parties, but I mean Justin Jefferson, he just his upside is definitely top 10 for sure. I mean, and then you got Calvin Ridley. Him and Matt Ryan does his thing. Michael Thomas. I mean, we'll see. Allen Robinson has a chance to play with a quarterback and actually get him the ball downfield.
Yep.
That actually has a chance.
And Jamar, I may have even put him a tad bit higher had I known that they wouldn't starting off with the rusty rifle. You know what I mean? I think he would have had a little bit more of a better chance. But you gotta tip your hat to Allen Robinson because he's played with like some bad quarterbacks during his career in the NFL, and he's just whenever he's healthy, he's just one of those guys, bro.
Absolutely, and I know we're talking about DeAndre Hopkins playing with some bad ones. I mean, Allen Robinson is right there.
Yep.
Along with him, still being productive with subpar quarterback play, and I'm saying that very lightly.
Indeed.
All right, so yeah, I definitely appreciate that list. It's like I'm gonna have a little more work to do to I guess figure out who's gonna have some real value here at the wide receiver position. We know they come a dime a dozen, but since the young ones are blossoming here, we're gonna have to figure something else out. So, all right, tight ends. Yeah, let me see. How many of these tight ends go into tight end university, man? Because I feel like whoever shows up there is gonna have a pretty good productive year.
Dude, I think that's so dope what they are doing with the tight end university, and basically, I believe it is pretty much all the best tight ends. Jamar, I'm gonna just go ahead and read off the list quickly. Darren Waller, Noah Fant, Zach Ertz, Mark Andrews, Mike Gesicki, Cole Kmet, Jonnu Smith, Eric Ebron, TJ Hawkinson, David Njoku, Robert Tonyan, rookie Kyle Pitts, OJ Howard, Evan Ingram, Hunter Henry. And that's still to say that George Kittle and Travis Kelce will be there as well. So I think that's pretty much almost all, or 80% of like the guys that we got up on like this list, bro. All those guys will be in attendance in this camp, and like that will be phenomenal. But with that being said, we got the header on the list, and Jamar should have just like inserted like a fire graphic behind Travis Kelce's name, because like that's exactly what he has been over like his like pretty much like career. I've said it a bunch of times, and like is debatable. I still do believe that Travis Kelce, when it's all said and done, will be the greatest tight end of all time. So enough said about that. And one of like the toughest tight ends of all time is George Kittle. Like this guy is phenomenal. Plays through injuries. He is tough nose, hard as nails, and he'll be the guy to get it done for you as long as he's healthy. Darren Waller, we see him do nothing but cook DBs, Jamar. We see him do nothing besides cook DBs. He can run a go route and make you look foolish, on which we've seen on multiple occasions, bro.
Bro, I'll never forget from last year when they split him out wide. Was that against the Dolphins? That was against somebody, the Chargers or somebody. Split him out wide. I'm pretty sure he's about 30 yards out from the end zone, and he just ran a go out past the TV, caught it basket, catch for a touchdown.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So he's basically just a souped up wide receiver. But I honestly, bro, I can see him taking over, maybe George Kittle's spot in like a couple of years. We'll see, even if he had a better quarterback there. But I mean, Darren Waller is fantastic. Mark Andrews, he's up on like a high powered offense. So I gave him the nod over other guys up on the list just because I think that he has a little bit of a better chance. And it also helps that when you don't have like a true tight end true wide receiver, on Baltimore. So this is going to be the guy who's going to get majority of the end zone looks. So TJ Hawkinson was great last year, Jamar. He was very, very serviceable. I'm not sure about like how like the quarterback play will go there, but I mean that's just like we'll see how that goes. Kyle Pitts, I had to do it. I'm sorry, like I was on like the early morning sports talk podcast with you guys, and we were talking about this guy, and I'm like, I've seen him play, but I didn't do my research on him. And the more I read about this guy, the more I really wanted to read about this guy, because they are saying that he is like the second coming and one of the guys who's going to automatically have on one of those green jackets, bro. So I cannot wait to see him play. Look, this is going to be a name that everyone should remember. Kyle Pitts. He is on the same team with paired up with Matt Ryan, right now a guy who likes to air it out with a Calvin Ridley if Julio Jones is still there, and we'll get into that in like a little bit. Noah Fant, we need to see a little bit more out of Noah Fant, and that's all not on him. That's a little bit of like the quarterback play because Drew Lock, sorry, he ain't it. Dallas Goedert, we knew that he was probably going to take over that spot from Ertz, but as of right now, Jamar, it does still stand that Ertz is still up on that roster, right?
Yeah. But keep an eye out on that one though.
For sure. Logan Thomas, a tight end that you and I both love, and I hate to say it right now because this will be a gem. If you cannot get one of those top tight ends early, this is going to be a guy that you can possibly hold out for and give you similar production. I like the direction that the Washington football team is going, and it seems like he will be heavily involved inside of that mix. Hunter Henry, he's on the team now with Cam Newton. I know they got weapons galore. They got a Jonnu Smith. They got other guys that they made that they brought over to that team to make Cam the quarterback in which we all thought he could be. So I just had to go ahead and toss him inside that top 10 mix as well.
Understandable. I mean, those top three, that's yeah. I can't even put into words how I feel right now for those top three. The Mark Andrews one, I feel like is interesting. So Baltimore actually, I guess kind of did a thing this offseason. They actually addressed a need because they, like, without a doubt, had the worst wide receiver core in the league, without a doubt. And so they signed Sammy Watkins, which is like, okay, maybe they're trying to do something. And then they drafted Bateman. I think that's his name, right? From Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's who they drafted. So they're trying to give this man weapons. So I guess apparently they came to their senses, and after watching that game against the Titans, not the Titans, the Bills, to where Lamar Jackson really had nobody to throw the ball to, and ended up throwing a pick six because he didn't have any targets. So I mean, it took them a couple of years, but it looks like they starting to get this figured out. So with the additions of those two, you already got Hollywood Brown, who I guess they're trying to figure out if he is a legitimate number one or not, which I don't think so. No. But they're trying to they're trying to piece something together. What I'm saying is with the additions of these wide receivers, and I think they actually going to pass the ball a little bit more than what they've been doing, it might actually open things up for Mark Andrews. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, because they've been run heavy and then look for tight ends because they didn't have any wide receivers on the roster. That's what it was. They had if it was up to them, they'd probably create a 4 tight end offense at the time. That's what they definitely ran 3 tight end offense before. I've seen it, but maybe the attention to the other guys might actually free Mark Andrews up a little bit more in the middle, because before last year he was on the cusp of being one of those top 3 guys that we was talking about, to where basically the tight end position is you either elite or you touchdown dependent.
For sure.
Last year, Mark Andrews became touchdown dependent. The year before, he was borderline.
Yes.
And so, yeah, Mark Andrews had a down year, but he still finished, I think, top 5 somehow.
Yep, I think he still did.
And that's crazy to me. Like, throughout the musical chairs of tight ends that was going on last year, and the way that Baltimore Ravens offense was like producing, that man still finished top 5.
Yep, he came in at number 4, Jamar, with 112 points. Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, Robert Tonyan, and Mark Andrews.
That's wild.
Yep.
And so, speaking of Tonyan, we don't have him on the list, and I think a lot of that's because of Aaron Rodgers, but also on top of that, typically tight ends aren't really targeted in Green Bay to begin with, and there's other prospects like the rookie Kyle Pitts. Like you said, the more that you read on him, the more that you wanted to read on him, the more you wanted to watch clips, the more that you can see why that these people are like basically getting ready to give him his Hall of Fame jacket before he even plays. Then they did that with Saquon Barkley. They did that with it was a quarterback as well. I can't even put my finger on it. But
they did that with Andrew Luck well before he got into the league, and it seems like they're doing it now with Trevor Lawrence. So it's going to be always that guy that they're going to be extremely high on. And sometimes you hit and miss. You hit and miss, but man, like you said, dude, I went back and I watched clip, and then that led to like me watching another clip, which led to me watching another clip of this guy, bro. So I'm very excited to see what he can do, especially in that pass heavy offense.
Absolutely. And just to put it in the terms here, he went to Florida, SEC school, went against Bama, which we know is basically feels like the farm system for the NFL.
I like that. Yeah.
And there was nothing that anyone could do about that man. I mean, granted, they beat Florida, but I'm pretty sure Kyle Pitts, definitely, left his presence known after that game.
He shined. He shined. And like you said, like Bama, like it got like an All-American at every position, basically. And this dude still got his, and it was just fantastic to see that. And man, dude, I am ready to see what he's gonna do. And I know we got a dynasty league coming up, so he would be one of the guys that I'm hopefully looking to target for sure.
Absolutely. And I know you mentioned Hunter Henry. He can definitely probably have a stellar year with Cam and the two tight end offense. They probably gonna run there. And Cam Newton, he has a lot of weapons, got something to prove this year. And so, which leads us to a segment here. So let me do this. All right. So what we heard is Julio Jones. Yes, the Julio Jones reported he wants to play with Cam Newton. Like, mind you, from last offseason to this offseason for the New England Patriots, it's night and day. So how would this offense look? Because I'm pretty sure, Bill Belichick, he'll probably just trade like a third rounder next year and like a second rounder in 2030 to get this man. He'll swindle something to get 2030. Yeah. Man, so like just think about it. If this is like true do or die year for Cam Newton. If he's the starter, week 1. Cam Newton under center, Julio Jones, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, Sony Michel, or Damian Harris in the backfield.
Please, Harris.
But it's like, how good can Julio Jones be in this offense? How good can the New England Patriots be next year?
I mean, I think we've seen it, Jamar, to where these guys can compete with less. But I mean, Bill Belichick just got up in the morning and said, like, "Hey, man, I'm tired of losing." Then he made another deal, and then he made another addition. Then he made another signing, and they were just heavily active. The most active I've ever seen them. Like, they stay in the news for making a solid pickup, and we haven't heard that in years from a New England team. So, dude, if they were to add Julio Jones, I mean, I just think that it would definitely take them over the top, and they can definitely be competitive. Now, mind you, they're still in the division with a Miami Dolphins team who I think is going to be fantastic, especially with the addition of a Jalen Waddle. I'm very high on him, received very, very high praise from me. I think he's going to be electric with that offense, and we already know what the Buffalo Bills are about. But can they compete if they were to make this addition of Julio Jones? Absolutely. I think so. Now, I get it. Julio Jones has a knock for not being able to find the end zone. I understand that. But make no mistake about it, he is still one of those generational wide receivers. He has been one of the best. One of the best.
Let me ask you this. I mean, if or when he's not Atlanta Falcon anymore, and let's just say, since we're talking about New England, he goes to New England. So do you think that changes him not finding the end zone? Because basically the only quarterback he's played with is Matt Ryan. So is this the actual Matt Ryan Atlanta Falcons scheme thing, or is this a Julio Jones thing?
You know what? I don't know. And like, bro, that is a good question. And you really put me on the spot with that. And like, I was wondering like that same thing. Like, okay, so is it Julio Jones? Is it the way that they run their offense? Because you look at Julio, you see the things that he has done. And it's like, man, why can't this guy just like get in the end zone? And like, I pick him year in and year out, knowing that, hey, there's a chance that this might be the year where he finds the end zone 10 times. And it just hasn't been that. And again, Cam hasn't been the most prolific passer over his last couple of years. But then again, he hasn't had a wide receiver near the caliber of a Julio Jones. So, I mean, dude, if this is a real thing, and again, we're just speaking in hypotheticals here because we're not sure whether it's going to happen or not. But I'm just saying, bro, like this could be a match made in heaven, not for only Cam, but for Julio Jones as well.
Absolutely. And you know, I said time and time again, Cam Newton's best weapon in his career was a running back.
Oh, man.
I get Greg Olsen, you know, Greg Olsen is second, and that's a tight end.
Yep.
Running back is your most prolific wideout that you ever had, and then a tight end. So it's, I know, you know.
Hey, don't disrespect Kelvin Benjamin like that, bro.
Dude, this man got signed as a tight end. He did eat that Popeye's biscuit, man. For those that don't know, who's that? What's that dude's name that's on ESPN? You know what I'm talking about? The guy that said it. I can't. What?
I have no idea, bro.
I forgot, but he the one. He was commentating Monday Night Football. And he basically said Kelvin Benjamin looks like he's a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end. And Lord and behold, he signed on to somebody last week trying out for tight end. I think it was the Giants. Yeah, I'm disrespecting Kelvin Benjamin, dude. Like he was supposed to be his go-to guy. And definitely went downhill from there, especially when he was traded. And then remember that little incident that him and Cam got into it?
Yep.
And it definitely went all the way downhill from there. So yeah, I mean, Cam, I know percentages and accuracy, this and that, but if on the flip side, I feel like he really hasn't had like real targets on at the wide receiver position to throw to. So I'm just saying. And then as far as, you know, Julio Jones, I want to say it's this game. I really do, because I'm looking at Calvin Ridley, and he has no problem finding the end zone.
No whatsoever.
None. Like every time you look up in the game, like who scored? Calvin Ridley?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, is it Julio? No, Calvin. And like you said, like every year, I feel like for like the least past 5 years, like, you know, we go into it like, all right, this is the year. Like we feel it. You know, Julio's healthy. Matt Ryan's healthy. This is the year Julio Jones gonna get it done in the end zone. He'll finish with four touchdowns that year. Like, okay.
Oh, lost you for a second, bro. Yeah, a little bit of technical difficulties. Jamar will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. But no, I do believe that this will be a pretty good signing for not only Cam Newton, but just the organization in general, because I just believe that they got to stay afloat in that very, very extremely tough division. So if the Patriots want to stay afloat, this is something that it looks like they should have to do and be able to pull the trigger with. Because the way how this is looking is truly looking like Miami is going to be legit this upcoming season. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the way that team progresses. Buffalo is Buffalo, and I think that they're going to do their thing, and they will be in Super Bowl contention. But it's just this signing right here. If hypothetically speaking, again, because we're not sure if it's truly going to happen, but this is definitely something I want to see be played out.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now, bro.
Look, I don't know what's going on, but thank you for picking up where my computer lacked. So,
no doubt. Oh, we lost you again, bro. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Oh, there you go.
look, I don't know what's going on, but all right. Let us wrap up, man, because I don't know what's going to happen next.
All right, man. So, I mean, all of you guys know exactly where you can find us. We are available everywhere where podcasts are found: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora. I mean, you see it going down up on the ticker, and everywhere where podcasts are available, we are there. Again, we are streaming live right now on both Facebook as well as YouTube. Definitely make sure you check out like the YouTube page. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. It definitely goes a long way for myself and Jamar to be able to grow the channel and keep giving you guys some pretty good content. And again, all of the likes and comments and everything that goes into it is definitely appreciated.
Absolutely. All right. So I guess we will see you all next week. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love, the support, everything that comes with it. We really do.
Thanks.
All right. And so until then, for my brother Deshaun, I am Jamar, and we'll see you all next week. Peace out.
Peace.